So let's move now into 2024 as we talk. What is going to happen? You've seen all the reports and results coming up. There was one that came up today that said that the MPP can win the parliamentary elections of 2024 if the election were run today. But how should any researcher look at Central Region ahead of 2024? John Mahama will be the candidate of the NDC, looks most likely. His running mate may be Professor Jenano Poko-Agyeman, who comes from the region. Yeah. And I made the point that the NDC have always had a fancy on the ticket since 1992. Now, Obeda Samoa has complained about Jenano Poko-Agyeman being on the ticket. How should anyone look at Central Region the way which is shaping up, coming through the constituency elections for the MPP and NDC and all of that? How should we look at it?
With the presidential, I am 99.9% convinced whoever leads NPP is going to win Central Region. I don't want to speak about other regions, but
yes, we're talking about Central Region. Yeah.
For Central Region, the presidential, yes, NPP will win it. When it comes to the parliamentary,
why are you confident that whoever leads the MPP will win the presidential in Central Region?
Because this president is leaving a good legacy. So all you have to do,
projects and development.
Yes, all you have to do is, tag along it. Whoever becomes the flag bearer, it will be so easy. The parliamentary, then again, we'll come back to it again. Then it becomes individual people. It will depend on the candidates. It will depend on their own message and their own relationship with the electorates. A lot of factors went against NPP in the last election. Use my own constituency, for instance, Cape Coast North. Yeah. The university student has always been a voting bloc for the NPP. Unfortunately for us, during the time of elections, the students
were out of school because of COVID.
And if the students were there, the difference, if you look at it in 2020 between Honorable Barbara Ashayisi and Honorable Kwamina Minta-Nyako. Honorable Minta-Nyako won with 22,972 votes, and Barbara had 21,642. If the UCC students were on campus,
Barbara would have gotten 2,000 more, and she would edge
bring in Cape Coast Technical University and other places. So these are all factors that went against NPP. That's why I said, if you take at it constituency by constituency, you are going to have reasons why we did so badly in 2020. But that is no excuse. To me, I see it as, go back to the blackboard, go do your homework, come back strongly, and recapture all your seats. That is how I see it. And I think NPP will take majority seats coming 2024 in Central Region.
And you think that NPP can win majority of the seats?
Oh, yes.
Kaysel Atoforsen, for instance, won his seat fair and square. In spite of the many incursions that we heard that the NPP guys did in his constituency, he won it.
I don't know what you mean by incursion. As far as...
On the night of election, there's usually announcements that he had been defeated, but it turned out that he won it.
Oh, but these things happen. Even in AAK, around 11 p.m., it was announced on GBC, all these media houses, that Felix Ofosu-Kwakye has won AAK. And at that time, we hadn't even finished counting. In fact, they hadn't even brought in the special vote. And people have declared this result. These things happen all the time. It doesn't matter. What matters is when the returning officer of the constituency signs the paper and declares you the winner. Then you've won. So, yes, Atoforsen won. As far as I'm concerned, Central Region had a peaceful election. I can say, yes, every election, there will be...
And Ricketts won in Cape Coast South.
Yes, he won in Cape Coast South. The current mayor, Honorable Enesata, you know what? I felt so sorry for him. He worked his socks off.
And the Cape Coast South, eh?
Yes, he worked his socks off. But again, Cape Coast South has their own dynamics. If there was a safe bet that I would have taken that we were going to win in 2020, would have been Cape Coast South. I was shocked when we lost Cape Coast South.
Was it a marginal or a big victory?
Oh. Was
it like Cape Coast North?
It wasn't that much. I think the difference, let me look at it here. Cape Coast South, Honorable Ernest Atta had 19,714. Honorable Ricketts Kwaku Hagan had 21,118. So again, under 2,000 votes. In parliamentary elections, a win is a win. Even one win is a win. But if you saw the campaign that Ernest Atta did, you feel sorry for him.
Is he going to run again?
I don't know. I haven't had the opportunity.
But he's now Cape Coast mayor.
Yes, he's the mayor. I haven't had the opportunity to speak to him to know his plans, whether he's going to run again or not.
But our beloved Barbara Isi was beaten in Cape Coast South by the NDC.
Cape Coast
North by the NDC. Barbara Isi. How is she doing these days?
She's doing very well. I spoke to her yesterday. Cape Coast.
Has she gone back to teach at Wesley Girls?
No, but I think she's doing some courses. She's furthering her education, because when I spoke to her, she said she's doing something at Legon, some course there. Cape Coast North is an interesting constituency. We have the indigenous Fantis. We have people with different religious background. We have the settler community there because of the fishing. Then we have the students there. Then you have the farming folks when you go up the constituency. So to win it, you need a bit of
all of these people.
We had two things that went against us. Our big block in Cape Coast North is the student community. Unfortunately for Barbara and NPP, at the time of the elections, the students were on break. So that was a big blow. With hindsight, moving forward, maybe with the settler communities, the fishermen along the coast, Cape Coast very well, between UCC, the old gate heading towards Elmina. That is where you have most of the settlers there.
Is that not the St. Augustine's Road?
No. The main road, the Accra, Thakrady Road, the old bypass, the old UCC entrance, where they have the mortuary, the hospital, that entrance. From there heading towards Elmina, Diakor, that area, they're all part of Cape Coast North.
Okay.
And there, most of the people living there are the settlers, mostly fishermen. With hindsight, maybe we should do more there. Maybe we should
more of the campaign,
more of engaging them, more of listening to their needs, bringing it up for the right authorities to look at it. So these two factors went against Barbara. So looking at the margins of Cape Coast North, the difference between Barbara Isi and Honorable Mintanya Ako, and taking into account that our biggest block
was not there.
All
things being equal,
MPP
should pick that seat back.
We should pick that seat back.
But Cape Coast South is going to be a struggle, isn't it? It's close though. But
if whoever becomes the candidate, if they continue where Honorable Ernest Atta left it, then they could be smiling. He worked his socks off. You have to give it to him. It's a different thing. You get a lazy candidate, then he loses and making excuses. You can't really fault him. He did whatever he has to do.
But that was a traditional NDC area. As I was saying, even when it was Cape Coast 1 constituency, that's the area where
I don't want to accept that.
But if you look at the data, it's there. Christine Church's days.
Yes, I don't want to accept that because if the president has been able to win,
that's impressive. I have to
say
that's
which
very
means
impressive.
It can be.
I had not looked at Cape Coast South, and my researcher didn't tell me that the president actually won there.
He won there.
But did he win there in 2016? I will not be surprised.
I'll check for you. 2016 Cape Coast South.
Same Ricketts Hagan won it, isn't it? And let's look at the margins, how it dropped.
Cape Coast South, yes. Again, in 20 2016, Honorable Ricky Hagan won with 20,456 votes against lawyer Michael Atadazi. He had 19,718.
21 to 19.
No, 20.
But it was nearer.
Yes.
Than 2020 elections. So 16 MPP, the results were marginal. The win for NDC was as marginal in 2016 as it was.
If you look at 2016 in Cape Coast South, the difference by rough maths, it's about
1,000 something.
No, less than that. About 700.
No,
even
see.
less than that.
That's close.
Yeah.
What was the presidential outcome?
Presidential, again, we won.
Akuffo Addo won in Cape Coast South in 16.
Yes.
Ah, that's impressive. So Cape Coast South is a seat. What was the margin there with John Mahama?
I have the totals of the whole of 2016, not
the constituencies.
Yeah, because I couldn't get all of that. But then the president won there. So to me, if the president is able to win twice,
yes,
in Cape Coast South,
how
do you determine it as a traditional
NDC place?
NDC seat? I don't want to accept
that.
So
it's a seat that is given. It's a battle.
That's why I said whoever becomes the presidential the parliamentary candidate should start from where Ernest ended. You know, take your time, look at where are the areas that need fine tuning, and if you're able to do that, why not? The seat can be taken.
There's another seat that was taken by George Ander's seat was taken by Giselle.
Oh, that seat is a sure NPP seat come 2020.
Why do you say that? There was an NDC seat before in 2012. 2016 NPP picked it. 2020 NDC picked it. How do you know that?
That is Ewusi West.
Yes.
You know, I don't know who again will become the
24 candidates.
Yeah. You know, I have my reasons of why we lost that seat, but I think it's internal matters.
You can't say it publicly.
And I'm sure the elders will look at it. I mean, obviously, before we
So it's a seat that MPP could have won.
Oh yes, hands down.
But for some issues.
Some issues, we lost it. So I know it's a seat that we will definitely take it. At all costs, we will take it. Denchira West, I am more than 100% convinced that we will get that seat back. You know, that is a traditional NPP seat. Why that seat for, belongs to history. But we will get that seat back. So moving into 2024, both presidential and parliamentary, I think NPP.